Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to PrepBee. And here we are doing VARC Day 26 and CAT 2022 Slot 3 passage. So let's get started. Nature has all along yielded her flesh to humans. First, we took nature's materials as food, fibers, and shelter. Then we learned to extract raw materials from her biosphere to create our own new synthetic materials. Now, bios is yielding us her mind. We are taking her logic as well. All right. So what the author is trying to say is that it refers to how humans have historically, used natural resources for survival and development. In the beginning, what we did, we used for food, fiber, and shelter. Over time, humans began to extract resources from nature, not just for basic needs, but also to create raw materials, make something synthetic as well, that is the man-made things as well. So now the focus has shifted from just taking materials from nature and understanding and using nature's inherent logic or systems. And now that means we are using its logic. We are using the way, these things function. Clockwork logic, the logic of the machines will only build simple contraptions. So that means that traditional technology follows a straightforward, predictable logic and can only create predictable systems. Truly complex systems such as cell, a meadow, an economy, or a brain, natural or artificial, requires a rigorous non-technological logic. We now see that no logic except biologic can assemble a thinking device or even a workable system of any magnitude. So more complex systems like cells, ecosystem, economies, human brains, all of that, they cannot be fully explained or replicated by, non-technological logic. They need more deeper, more complex form of understanding. The author argues that only the principles of biological systems can create truly intelligent or complex systems, whether biological or artificial. It is an astounding discovery that one can extract the logic of bios out of biology and have something useful. Although many philosophers in the past have suspected one could abstract the laws of life and apply them elsewhere, it wasn't until the complexity of computers and human-made systems became as complicated as living things that is possible to prove this. So it's remarkable that we can take the underlying principles of biology and apply them to create some useful and functional systems. Philosophers had long speculated that life's principles could be extracted and used in other areas, but it wasn't until computers and human made systems became as complex as living organisms that this idea could be proven. It's eerie how much of life can be transformed. That means it's almost uncanny how much features of life can be replicated into artificial systems. So far, some of the traits of the living that has successfully been transported to mechanical systems are self-replication, self-governance, limited self-repair, mild evolution, and partial learning. So some characteristics of living organisms, such as to reproduce, to govern themselves, repair themselves, evolve, all of and learn to certain degree, they have been successfully implemented in artificial systems. We have a reason to believe yet more can be synthesized and made into something new. Yet, at the same time, that the logic of bios is being imported into machines, the logic of technos is being imported into life. So what the author is trying to say that there is potential to replicate even more characteristics of living organisms in machines and create entirely new and advanced systems. While we are incorporating biological logic into technology, we are also introducing technological principles into biology, particularly such as that of genetic engineering that is mentioned here. All right. The root of bioengineering is the desire to control the organic long enough to improve it. Domesticated plants and animals are examples of technology applied to life. The wild aromatic root of the Queen Anne's lace weed has been fine-tuned over generations by selective herb gatherers until it has evolved into a sweet carrot of garden. The udders of wild bovines have been selectively enlarged in an unnatural way to satisfy humans rather than cows. Milk cows and carrots, therefore, are human interventions as much as steam engines and gunpowder are. But milk cows and carrots are more indicative of the kind of inventions humans will make in the future, products that are grown rather than manufactured. So, the author is trying to say that there is reason There is a potential to replicate even characteristics of living organisms to create advanced systems. And while we are incorporating this biological logic into technology, we are also introducing the principles. And now bioengineering seeks to manipulate and control biological organisms to improve them for human purposes. Domesticate the domesticated species such as crops and livestock are examples of how human technology has been used to shape and control life. Over time, humans have selectively bred plants like carrots, originally derived from the queen ant slaves, to enhance desirable traits, showcasing our ability to engineer life. Similarly, humans have bred animals like cows to enhance milk production, which benefits humans rather than animals themselves, further demonstrating how we apply technological logic to biological organisms. Milk cows and carrots, like machines and other human made interventions, are products of human intervention, shaping nature to meet the human needs. In the future, humans are likely to focus more on creating products that are biologically grown rather than purely manufactured from raw materials, reflecting a shift towards bioengineering. Genetic engineering is precisely what cattle breeders do when they select better strains of Holsteins. Only bioengineers employ more precise and powerful control. So, genetic engineering is similar to traditional breeding, like the selective breeding of cows. But bioengineers, they have the ability to manipulate genes with greater precision and control. While carrot and milk cow breeders had to rely on diffuse organic evolution, modern genetic engineers can use directed artificial evolution purposeful design, which greatly accelerates improvements. So, traditional breeding relied on natural, slow evolutionary processes, whereas genetic engineering uses directed evolution to make faster improvements in organisms. The overlap of the mechanical and the lifelike increases year by year. That means as the time goes on, the boundary between machines and living systems has blurred. Part of this bionic convergence is matter of words. The meanings of mechanical and life are both stretching until all complicated things can be perceived as machines and all self-sustaining machines can be perceived as alive. Yet beyond semantics, two concrete trends are happening. Human-made things are behaving more lifelike and life is becoming more engineered. The apparent veil between the organic and the manufactured has crumpled to reveal that the two really are and have always been of one being. So, as time goes on, the line has blurred, and the merging of the mechanical and biological is also reflected in language as mechanical and alive. They are being stretched to encompass both. So the definitions of mechanical and life they are expanding so that the complex systems, whether man-made or biological, can be seen as machines, and even machines that sustain themselves can be seen as alive. So beyond just language, two significant trends are emerging. Human-made objects are starting to behave more like living organisms, and biological life is being increasingly shaped by human engineering. The distinction between natural and man-made systems is disappearing, revealing that they have always been interconnected, with human technology increasingly mimicking biological life and vice versa. All right, so let's get started with the questions. The author claims that part of this bionic convergence is a matter of words. Which one of the following statements best expresses the point that is being made by the author? All right. So bios and technos are both convergent forms of logic, but they generate meanings about the word that are mutually exclusive. No, the author is not trying to say this. The author is just trying to say that, the difference here, they have said that the difference is gradually decreasing. A bionic convergence indicates a meeting ground of genetic engineering and artificial intelligence, not expressing the point being made. Mechanical and life are words from different logical systems and therefore fundamentally incompatible. कह ही नहीं रहे हम लोग. They were earlier seen as opposite meanings, but the difference is increasingly blurred. This is exactly what they are saying, that this is just a matter of words. Now the differences have blurred. What is your answer? Which one of the following sets of words or phrases best serves keywords? Complex systems, carrot milk, बहुत ही narrow thing हो गया. Nature, bios, technos, self repair, Holsteins, again, does not cover everything. Nature, computers, we are talking about artificial systems. And main is they are talking about biotechnology and the, genetic things. So complex system, biology, bioengineering, technology, convergence, all the keywords cover. Now, none of the following statements is implied by the arguments of the passage except so what is implied by the author. Purposeful design represents the pinnacle of scientific expertise in the service of human betterment and civilization progress. So purposeful design it represents nahi. ये नहीं होता है. The biological realm is as complex as mechanical one. This is why logic of bios is being important. Is it as complex? We don't know. Genetic engineers and bioengineers are the same insofar as they both seek to force evolution in an artificial way. Exactly what they are trying to say. Genetic engineers or bioengineers में क्या difference है वो बना दो. So third is your answer. Now, the author claims that the apparent veil between the organic and the manufactured has crumpled to reveal that the two really are and have always been one of being. Which of the following statement best expresses the point being made by the author here? Scientific advances are making it increasingly difficult to distinguish between organic reality and manufactured reality. Exactly कि वो differences जो है organic, man-made और ना ये natural का वो एकदम blur हो चुका है. Now let's see the parajumble. The more we are able to accept that our achievements are largely out of our control, the easier it becomes to understand that our failures and those of others are too. But the raft of recent books about the limits of merit is an important correction to the arrogance of contemporary entitlement and an opportunity to reassert the importance of luck or grace in our thinking. Won't be the starting statement. Meritocracy as an organizing principle is an inevitable function of free society as we are designed to see our achievements as worthy of reward. Can you see the link between 3 and 2? 3 2 में clearly एक link दिख रहा है कि meritocracy achievement as worthy of reward लेकिन luck grace ये सब का भी आता है 3 2 is an pair. And that in turn should increase our humility and the respect with which we treat our fellow citizens, helping ultimately to build a more compassionate society. Now, अब ये कह रहा है कि the more we accept that it is importance of luck कह रहा है, the more we accept that they are largely out of our control, we'll also understand that failure is also out of our control. So 3 2 1. And when we do that, we then now this should increase our humility. 3 2 1 4. Now, Tamsin Balchan, curator of Fashion Open Studio, an initiative by a campaign group showcasing the work of ethical designers, says we are all drawn to an exquisite place of embroidery, a colorful texture, or even a style of dressing that might have originated from another heritage. But this MACP mentality, where all the culture and history is up for grabs as inspiration, has accelerated since the proliferation of social media. Where once a fashion student might research the history and traditions of a particular item of clothing with care and respect, we now have a world where images are lifted from image libraries without a care for their cultural significance. It's easier than ever to steal a motif or a craft technique and transfer it onto a piece of clothing that is either mass produced or appears on a runway without credit or compensation to their original communities. So they are just trying to say that fashion में तुम जो कल्चरल ग्रुप के बिना परमिशन के जो तुम कल्चर को दिखाते हो क्रेडिट जो तुम नहीं देते फैशन में that is wrong is what the summary is. Media has encouraged mass production. Images are copied effortlessly without care or concern to the interest of the ethnic. This one. This has encouraged mass productions. They are copied effortlessly. ये गलत है इसमें. And interest से ज़्यादा credit की बात होती है. Cultural collaboration is the need of the hour. एकदम ही opposite कह रहा है. Taking fashion ideas from any cultural group without their consent is a form of appropriation without giving enough credit, compensation, or respect. Exactly what the author is trying to say. So that's it for today. We hope to see you soon.